Coming up on Citrus TV News, over half of all Democratic senators are calling for Al Franken's resignation. Which senators are speaking out?
And a whistleblower revealed new info about Michael Flynn. Find out why the former national security advisor is in trouble yet again.
And if you're unable to watch YouTube on any of your Amazon devices, you're not alone. Find out why. Citrus TV News starts right now.
Your campus news leader.
Our top story tonight, county executives approve a controversial bike trail along Onondaga Lake. Good evening, I'm Elijah Shama.
And I'm Colleen Callander. This comes just one day after an SU professor found dangerous toxins in the lake. The trail has its fair share of opponents. Citrus TV reporter Greg Bradbury is live at the lake to talk about what comes next. Greg?
Well, here on the south shore of Onondaga Lake, in Murphy's Island, is where the proposed bike path is set to be. However, when it came to planning the bike path, there were two big issues that came about. The first being that it is on highly contaminated land, and the second being it's where bald eagles actually raise their young and live here. The county did address these issues, however. They said they were going to clear the land and then build on top of it the bike path. And when it came to the eagle issue, they said that they were going to try and avoid building near where the eagles live and actually move it closer to the railroad tracks. The Audubon Society did say that it is good for them that they did win this small battle by having it moved, but overall it still could create a disturbance for the bald eagles. Back to you guys in the studio.
It looks like Representative John Katko will vote in favor of the GOP tax bill. He voted in favor of the House bill, but was concerned with some of its elements. Katko previously said he would vote against the final version of the bill if it did not include state and local tax deductions. The Senate bill currently has a deduction up to $10,000 for local property taxes. The Senate and House are currently working together in conference committee to create the final version of the bill. 29 Democratic senators, including New York's Kirsten Gillibrand, called on Al Franken to resign today. Franken has been accused of sexual assault by 7 women. Gillibrand was the first of the senators to call for his resignation. She was quickly followed by others. Gillibrand says Franken needs to be held to a higher standard.
And I think when we start having to talk about the differences between sexual assault and sexual harassment and unwanted groping, you are having the wrong conversation. You need to draw a line in the sand and say none of it is okay. None of it is acceptable.
Franken will be making an announcement tomorrow, possibly announcing that he will resign.
A new documentary series is revisiting the dark past of a small upstate town, generating backlash from its residents. Dryden, New York was the site of 7 murders between 1989 and 1996, an upsetting part of its history which many are looking to put behind them. The series, titled Village of the Damned, first aired on Investigation Discovery last month. An online petition calling on it to stop airing the series has garnered over 3,000 signatures.
And students will be leaving campus for winter break as early as this Friday. Citrus TV reporter David Edelstein found out how to keep your off-campus property safe while you're away.
As winter break comes to campus, students are on their way out, many leaving their off-campus properties vacant for an entire month. With no one home, burglars sometimes break into apartments and houses.
We definitely have students that come back after break and they'll say things like, oh yeah, somebody broke into my apartment, and it may be because that they just did something silly, like they left a couple of gaming cartridges out, right? And somebody's like, well, if they left that out, like what else did they leave?
But this is preventable. Riggs says students can lock their doors and windows, shut their blinds, and hide valuable items.
Now's the time to email or text or pick up the phone, talk to their landlord, have an understanding of what they need to do when they leave the property to help keep the property safe.
Riggs and Persanti say students should speak with their landlords to let them know they are leaving. This way, everyone is on the same page to ensure the property is safe.
Most landlords are going to help because they don't want anyone breaking into their house, they don't want that stuff to happen either.
Riggs and Persanti added that if you're a student living off campus, you can make a checklist for yourself so that you make sure to complete all these tasks before you leave for break. David Edelstein, Citrus TV News.
A pair of downtown buildings are getting a major facelift. The owners of the AXA Towers downtown are planning millions of dollars of upgrades. The $6.8 million initial investment should help retain 3 prominent tenants who occupy about 50% of the 2 buildings. The overall cost of the improvements is estimated to be from $16 to $22 million. Wegmans is almost universally loved here in Syracuse, but it's not just the customers that love it. The grocery store has been named the 49th best company to work for in the country. They moved up 1 spot from last year. The rankings were made from reviews from current and former employees. The number 1 company to work for? Facebook.
We saw a mix of sun and clouds today, and it seems like the temperatures just keep dropping. It's getting a little chilly out there.
Yeah, I was walking and I got buffeted by that wind, and it definitely sent a chill down my spine. I just wonder what's going on. Nicole, what can we expect going forward?
And those temperatures really are not going to be getting much warmer. This should be the last of the temperatures that we see in the 30s. Currently, it's about 38 degrees outside, but really feels closer to about 31 degrees. There's about 10 miles per hour of wind right now. But tonight, big thing to look forward to. There's a chance of snow, about 40%, possibly coming in around 10, but should be gone by 2 a.m. And this is not the only snow that we can expect. I'll tell you more in my full weather forecast.
Coming up, reports that the president wants his own personal spy network. Why is a private security company talking to the CIA?
And a big decision in Israel. What could a move to Jerusalem mean for the Middle East? Find out after the break.
Got a quarter?
Superheroes? Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Hey, look, it's those guys. Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
You're watching CitrusTV News with Colleen Callander, Elijah Shama, and Nicole Weaving with weather. CitrusTV News continues now.
Breaking news, the House has passed a bill that allows gun owners to carry their weapons across state lines.
This is the first gun law since the mass shootings in Las Vegas and Texas. The bill was backed by the NRA. We'll have more on this as it becomes available.
Me Too has become much more than just a hashtag, and now it's Time Magazine's Person of the Year. Time calls the many women and men who spoke out about sexual harassment in 2017 the silence breakers.
The story features many of the celebrities, including Ashley Judd and Taylor Swift, who spoke up about their harassers this year, as well as activist Tarana Burke, who started the Me Too hashtag 10 years ago.
The magazine announced its Person of the Year choice this morning on The Today Show, who recently fired longtime anchor Matt Lauer for sexual misconduct. Shortly before Time was released, the top editor of numerous major tabloids was accused of sexual misconduct.
Former employees said Dylan Howard harassed them as the head of American Media's LA office. They say Howard quit in 2012 due to investigations into his behavior.
But the company brought Howard back 1 year later, promoting him to the main office in New York. Howard has worked as the editor for popular gossip publications, including the National Enquirer and US Weekly.
Just 6 days before the election in Alabama, Democrat Doug Jones has an unlikely new supporter, a Republican senator.
Jeff Flake has announced his full support of the Democrat. He tweeted a photo of a check addressed to Jones' campaign with the caption, "Country over party."
Jones is facing Republican Roy Moore, who has been accused of sexual assault against minors. Flake has been an outspoken critic of Moore, as well as opposing President Trump.
U.S. officials say the private Blackwater military contracting firm asked the CIA to provide it with intelligence contractors. This comes after a report that the Trump administration is looking to build its own private spy network.
Sources say the president wants spies to counter perceived deep state enemies within the government. The White House has denied these claims. New information about the Trump administration's relationship with Russia today. A whistleblower's account says Michael Flynn told an ex-business partner that economic sanctions against Russia would be ripped up.
The information suggests the former national security advisor had an economic incentive for the U.S. to create a close relationship with Russia. The whistleblower is saying that within minutes of Trump being sworn in as president, Flynn was already communicating his plan to work with Russia. President Trump formally recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel today. The president also announced plans to relocate the U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem.
The decision reverses nearly 7 decades of American foreign policy and fulfills a campaign promise. The move is expected to inflame tensions in the region, despite Trump saying that the new embassy will be a tribute to peace. Conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo has forced 1.7 million people to flee.
Years of conflict between rival militias in the Congo have forced over 4 million to flee and started a mass hunger crisis that endangers more than 7 million people.
Despite the crisis, international aid has been slow to arrive. The Congolese government is struggling to grapple with the crisis.
Air pollution has been shown to harm infant brain development. UNICEF released a report connecting neurological problems with high intake levels of pollution.
According to the agency, breathing toxic air could deteriorate brain tissue. Babies in the Pacific, South Asia, and East Asia are the most affected. There, the pollution is 6 times higher than what is safe.
UNICEF said that more children will be affected as the world urbanizes and pollution levels continue to rise.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
Any high temperatures here in the 30s. So let's take a look at the rest of central New York. It's currently 35 in Penn, the same in Ithaca, a cooler 33 down in Binghamton, and then Fulton is the warmest here, the same as in Syracuse. Now, when it comes to tomorrow, slightly on the cooler side than we saw today. When you wake up in the morning, it'll be about 30 degrees and warm up to be about 33. The high tomorrow is right around 36, so really not going to be much warmer throughout the day. Expect a partly cloudy day, so the sun won't be shining to help warm it up either. And the chance of snow is only at about 15%. So even though we may see some snow tonight, you don't really have to worry about any tomorrow. But when it comes to this weekend, your chances of snow are moderate. There's about 5 to 8 inches of snow predicted. That'll probably start right around Sunday and continue into Wednesday. There will be obviously some sporadic pauses within the snow, but not too much should accumulate. When it comes to travel days, if you're leaving because you do not have any finals, your worst days to travel will be Sunday and Tuesday. That is when the most snow is expected. And when it comes to our 5-day forecast, it's going to be a mostly cloudy day tomorrow, as I mentioned, with a high of 35. Similar temperatures on Friday with that partly cloudy skies on Friday. And then Saturday, you have mostly sunny, so the sun will still be present. But when it comes to Sunday and Monday, as I mentioned, there will be some snow and some cooler temperatures. As you see, the lowest of the highs is 28 on Sunday, and those lows are all the way down in the 20s.
So, Nicole, should we expect any snow tomorrow?
Don't have to worry about any snow tomorrow. I would say that chance of snow is only about 15%. But tonight, possibly, and this weekend, definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole. Coming up, Nicole will give us updates on the fires that continue to spread through California. Stay with us.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
A new set of wildfires are burning in California. In October, 5,000 structures burned in the northern part of the state. Now a wildfire has started in Ventura County and the Los Angeles area. Our latest numbers show the fires have spread to over 65,000 acres. At least 150 structures have been destroyed and dozens of schools have closed. Since this morning, helicopters and more than 1,700 firefighters have been trying to put out the flames. Traffic-wise, the fire is raining ash onto the 504 freeway in LA. Parts of the 504 near Bel Air have been closed, making it difficult for thousands to evacuate. Authorities predict the fire could rage on for days. Winds of up to 60 miles per hour would cause unfavorable conditions to stop the blaze. Our thoughts and prayers are with those in Southern California.
Job growth in the U.S. 190,000 jobs were added last month following an even stronger showing in October. Strong gains were seen in manufacturing and healthcare, totaling over 70,000 jobs. The U.S. unemployment rate is currently at a 17-year low of 4.1% and could fall below 4% by late next year. Despite the addition of new jobs, the amount of homeless people in the U.S. has increased yet again. The Department of Housing and Urban Development says that homelessness has gone up every year in the last 7 years. The report states that over 550,000 people are homeless. Major cities like Los Angeles and New York contributed significantly to the rising percentage, though Central New York is bucking the national trend. Homelessness is down 8.6% in Onondaga, Oswego, Cayuga, and Tompkins County. China is number one for patent applications for 2016. And the country dominated countries like the U.S. in number of applications, racking up 1.3 million last year. China single-handedly accounted for a 98% increase in patent applications. The World Intellectual Property Organization says innovators around the world filed 3.1 million patent applications in 2016.
It has been 47 years since the death of Jimi Hendrix, but that hasn't stopped him from releasing a new album. The album, titled Both Sides of the Sky, is a compilation of unreleased recordings from the years leading up to his death. It features 10 songs that have never been heard before. The project will be released in March. Wondering why you can't watch your favorite YouTube videos with your Amazon devices? Google is to blame. The search giant is blocking YouTube on Amazon's Echo, Show, and Fire TV until Amazon is willing to collaborate with Google on a YouTube app for those devices. Google says they've been trying to reach an agreement with Amazon that gives consumers access to both Google and Amazon services. While YouTube has officially been pulled from the Echo Show, it will still be on the Fire TV until January 1st. Massage Envy is promising new reforms after its workers were repeatedly accused of sexual assault. The massage chain is saying their therapists will now undergo annual background checks and has also hired a third-party background screening company. After more than 180 people filed sexual assault accusations against the company, Massage Envy is also saying it will help customers report misconduct to authorities. The anti-sexual violence group RAIN will review Massage Envy's updated policies and will recommend changes.
Coming up, a busy day in sports, a rivalry renewed in Madison Square Garden. I'll recap all the action from SU and UConn. Plus, the Yankees officially have a new manager and the NFL's leader isn't going anywhere soon. News Live at 6. We'll be right back.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice single boys. That was
was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Come on, it's not that hard.
My big man fingers are having a problem with these little tiny buttons.
Whoa, watch it there. Your blood pressure's gonna go through the roof.
Tell me about it. I'm trying to learn how to get it down. Instead, it keeps going up.
High blood pressure can increase the risk for heart attack or stroke. Learn how to keep yours at a healthy range.
Ever hear a voice command? Just say text barbershop to 97779.
That's not what I said.
Just give me that. Now my blood pressure's up.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And now, your Citrus TV Sports Report.
Welcome back to News Live at 6. I'm Noah Eagle with sports. The last two seasons have brought nearly polar opposite expectations for the Syracuse men's basketball team. Last year, a team with a ton of experience and seemingly a ton of depth, Jim Boeheim's team did not live up to the hype surrounding them preseason. Fast forward to this year, and the Orange was picked to finish 10th in the ACC. However, early this year, a good start, 6-1 heading into Tuesday night, when a date with the UConn Huskies awaited in MSG. Tyus Battle has fought through some back issues in the past 2 games, but he got some help early on as O'Shea Brissett puts up the 3 in the corner. And how about Matthew Moyer skying through the air right there, climbs the imaginary ladder. SU up early on by 5, 8 minutes gone by. The Jam Fest continues. Frank Howard lobs it up. O'Shea Brissett there to put it down, 22-15. Syracuse, the Orange started well, up by as much as 17 in the first, but UConn punched back before the end of the half. Antoine Anderson drains the 3, brings it within 10, 30-20. Back on the other end we go. SU with some impressive passing themselves. Tyus Battle in the corner. He knocks down the triple, and the Orange would go into the locker room up 40-29. Second half now, UConn keeps its foot on the gas. Jalen Adams torched Syracuse a year ago. 16 points in that one, 22 yesterday. Floater good, but it was not enough. Last night was about one man, and that man was Matthew Moyer. How about that putback slam again? Career high 18 points for Moyer, and Syracuse takes the contest 72-63. Well, Syracuse next plays Colgate at home this Saturday, but how about the SU women's basketball team? Coach Q and company host the Raiders tonight inside the Loud House. Syracuse 8-0 on the season, one of 3 ACC teams and 15 in the nation that are still unbeaten. As for Colgate, 4-4 on the year, fresh off a 20-point victory over UMass Lowell. Biggest spark for SU, point guard Tiana Mangakahia. 11.8 assists per game in her first 8 in orange. Tip-off between SU and Colgate, 7 o'clock tonight. Pearl Washington, Derek Coleman, Carmelo Anthony, those are a few of the iconic names that hang inside the Carrier Dome, and this year, those legends will have company. Dennis Duval's number 22 and Lawrence Moten's 21 will be retired in the Dome. Duval averaged 18.6 points per game in 3 seasons between 1971 and 1974. As for Moten, one of the more impressive resumes, the leading scorer in both SU and Big East basketball history. Each player had a cup of coffee in the NBA before moving on, and the jerseys go up in early 2018. Let's switch gears to the baseball world, where today the Yankees officially welcomed Aaron Boone as their new manager. Boone played for New York for 1 out of his 12 years in the majors, and he's known for his clutch walk-off home run in Game 7 of the 2003 ALCS versus the Red Sox. Boone is replacing longtime manager Joe Girardi, and today called the opportunity, quote, the chance of a lifetime for me. Well, Boone might be the new guy in charge in New York, but the National Football League won't have anybody new at the helm anytime soon. Commissioner Roger Goodell signed a 5-year contract extension to remain in his position. Reports say the deal is likely worth $200 million or $40 million annually, and Goodell has made $212.5 million since being elected the NFL's commissioner in 2006. Back to basketball, the Knicks in action tonight. New York plays host to Memphis at 7:30. And good news for Knicks fans, the team announced Kristaps Porzingis likely to return to action tonight. The star forward missed the last 2+ games with a sprained ankle. Porzingis being back, big news for New York, who is likely without its second leading scorer, Tim Hardaway Jr., due to a leg issue. The Knicks have been in sync at Madison Square Garden this season. 10 of the team's 11 wins have come at the world's most famous arena.
And
we'll be right back.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Now it's only Wednesday, but it's a big weekend here for my co-anchor, Elijah. His 21st birthday is on Sunday.
Thank you.
Happy almost birthday, Elijah.
I appreciate it. Oh my God, you guys are way too sweet. This is adorable. Thank you, thank you.
Chocolate cake just for you.
It's also, as big of a weekend as it may be for me, this show is much more important to Colleen. This is her final show at Syracuse University and at CitrusTV. Colleen, I'll let you say a couple words.
Thank you, Elijah. Like Elijah said, as my time at CitrusTV and at Syracuse University comes to an end, I'd like to say thank you to everyone at the station for an incredible 3.5 years. Thank you to our EPs, Dan Prager and Josh Feinblatt, for producing great shows week after week, and to the whole crew for always giving 100%. My memories and experiences at CitrusTV are ones that I will always carry with me, and I feel so lucky to have worked with such talented and dedicated people. I'm forever grateful to be a part of the CitrusTV family.
And I'll add to that, being a part of this newscast this semester has been nothing short of a dream come true for me. It's not every day you get to do a newscast with your best friends. So to our EPs, Dan and Josh, thank you for always believing in us and this show. And Colleen, a big thank you for being the best co-anchor that anyone could possibly ask for. I know you're going to go on to do great things, and I hope you remember me when you're rich and famous. And to our incredible crew, you're the magic behind it all and the unsung heroes of this station, and I am forever grateful for all of the work that you do. As for me, I'll be going abroad next semester, but rest assured, I'll be back next fall. Until then, thank you from all of us here at Wednesday News. Have a great night, Syracuse. Read it, come on. Oh.
Wednesday News.